It's an unprocessed oat seed. You can get them in places like the bulk food wholesalers. Yeah, groats. Yeah, Groats. Yep. Yes. Yeah, they're the original seeds. They're ready to go. You can sprout them if you want. Yeah, which is why it's so good to soak them all first before you get going. Because then the plant starts to grow and it releases all those chemicals and it's ready to digest. So it's great. It adds to the flavour. The nuts, when you see activated nuts, that's where they've soaked it and then cleaned it up for you and it's ready to go. There is a big difference between eating a straight out nut and an activated nut. It's much softer and easier to digest. So there is a number of things I've learnt from going into this vegan. Like I said, it's a complete mental change. You're not just changing your diet, you're changing your attitude. And one of the things I've learnt from it is don't fear failure. Like I said, like a lot of people go, I want to go vegan. I tried it, it didn't work very well. No, that's it. I'm giving up. You know, you learn much more from failure than you learn from doing it right. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. When you fail, you go, all right, why did I fail? You learn to work out what you do, and you get those coping mechanisms. So you learn what not to do and how to do it. So the first couple of attempts that I made to go vegan weren't very successful, and I made a lot of mistakes. But you learn from each time. You learn different things, and that's when I started to learn, oh, if I have saturated fats in my diet, it doesn't work. Right? So that was a big failure. That was putting 40 kilos on. That was a bit of a failure. But I learned what it was, so take all that out. Got better results. And then I've got this little tool now that I go and say, oh, but I'm still low in energy. Or maybe I'll take the oils out. All right, take all the oils out, feel even stronger and healthier. I've got a new little tool now. I know that saturated fats and oils I don't cope with them very well. So then you try the other things. So, yeah. Yeah, it's still very concentrated. So you're taking this lovely, juicy goodness of the coconut, and then you're just extracting the oil. So if you crush down a coconut, like you'd only probably eat half a coconut. When you scrape out the flesh, you probably have half a coconut on your food. You know, that's a lot of coconut. If you go for the coconut oil, right, if you squeeze a coconut, you're going to get like a tablespoon of oil out of it. Right? So to get the coconut oil that you're going to use in your cooking, so like a third of a cup of coconut oil, that's a lot of coconuts. You would not sit down and eat that many coconuts.
1 tablespoon.
Yeah.
That's enough. 1 tablespoon. If somebody just eats it, instead of omega-3 oils.
Yeah, it is full. Like I said, it is full.
Coconut oil. They just eat it every morning.
Yeah. But if you eat the coconut just as it is, you're getting the. I crack open a coconut every morning. It is incredibly easy. It only takes a couple of minutes. You let the coconut soak while you're doing the other things, then you just whip it out, tap it around there. It takes less than about 5 minutes to crack open this coconut. You've got the juice for a nice morning drink, and you've got the flesh for not just putting on your breakfast, but for peeling out for the rest of the day. So it's much better value. So I'd rather have the good oils as the coconut flesh than the good oils as a little tablespoon of coconut oil. Not that tasty.
I love it. It's just a matter of opinion. It's nice. That's concentrate too. Organic spirulina or
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're the whole foods, the little spirulina and that. Yeah, so it's Yep.
Because my husband is probably gone somewhere.
Yeah, I've got plenty of handouts here too that give everything in detail and a couple of recipes on the back for how to try these things. And there's also, I've written a book that you can get. It's available online, and that's got everything in detail about it. So that's got, you know, several dozen recipes, all different sorts, breakfast recipes, drinks, baking. So I've lost my train of thought, yeah? I was going to say, but yeah, that's what I was talking about with failure. So you learn from your mistakes. And victory is the opposite. If everything goes along smoothly and fine, and you never learn anything until one day it doesn't work and you're lost. So far better to fail a lot, learn, get all these little tools, learn how to cope with things when it doesn't work, than to just always go along quite happily and easily, and then one day the whole lot just falls to pieces. The other thing is, I found, as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intention. I had lots of doctors telling me you shouldn't aim for an A1C of under 6. You can't do it. No one's done it. You can't do that. So they would tell you to aim for 7. 7's nice. 7's easy. 7 you can do it, because they're afraid that you'll become disheartened and you won't want to check your sugars and all that, because it's too difficult to get that sugar level down and to get that control. But as Bruce Lee said, better to shoot for a noble goal, better to fail at something incredible than to succeed at mediocrity. So if I achieve a level of 7, well, that's great, I achieved my target, and I'm probably going to have some amputations and eventually die of kidney disease. I think I'd rather aim for under 6, and maybe I won't get under 6, but maybe I'll get close. And even if I get close, I'm going to reduce, for every little bit that I get closer, I'm going to reduce my chances of complications by a lot, like 43%. If I can get 1% closer, so if I reduce it from 7.1 down to 6.1, I've halved my chance of having an amputation. So I think that's pretty good. Yep.
What's your opinion on salt? Adding salt to food?
Adding salt. Well, a lot of the food really has great flavour. When you just take all the oils out, all the flavour comes back in again. So, but when I add salt, I use a vegetable salt. So it's slightly different to salt. You can get some great vegetable salts on the market, and they come with iodine, which is what you're after. So iodine's one of the few things that you'll only get from salt and not from anything else. And iodine helps your endocrine system and that to function properly. So,
With natural salts, like sea salt and Celtic salt, things like that, they also have iodine in them, or is it added to table salt?
it's added. Sea salt is probably the only one that would have iodine in it naturally. So what they'll often do with the vegetable salts is they'll add the sea salt with the iodine and the other metal elements in there as a source, and then they mix it with the vegetables, which also have lots of other health-giving things in them. And the other advantage is you're not going to add too much sodium, because that's the big problem. When you add salt, you get lots of sodium. Table salt has lots of sodium in it, which you don't want.
What about kelp?
Kelp, yes, kelp is another great one.
It has iodine in it.
Yeah, it has iodine in it, yep.
Can I encourage everyone at this point, if Lucas is up for it, to
continue the conversation in other beautiful spaces. Just
Are
as
we
we're
running
gonna-
out of time?
Just to run on time. But, you know, what a fascinating discussion, amazing talk, so full of information. So grateful to have you here. So
Yes,
thank
I
you,
have
and do make that connection.
handouts.
Lovely.